Good morning, everyone. Mrs. Gershon here. We're going to continue our work with suffixes, which is adding an ending onto a base word. This week we're going to be working with noun suffixes. Now, in grammar, we've been working with nouns, and we know a noun is a person, place, or thing. Okay, and we're going to be adding our suffixes onto nouns this week, and it actually changes the meaning of the noun. Sometimes the noun is a person, so the suffix adds the action of telling who is doing something or the doer. Sometimes the noun could even be a place, but adding the suffix on changes it to become a noun, also a noun, but maybe a person, and we'll go through those. So let's take a look at the top here. We have our headers. Our suffixes are ER, OR, IAN. Now IAN, you're going to actually hear two different sounds for IAN this week. You're going to hear shun, and then you're going to hear Ian. Okay, the way that it actually looks like the way that it's spelled, it sounds like it's spelled. So you are going to hear two. You're going to hear shun and Ian. And then we have our last one, ist. So let's go through our list, and then we will go ahead and talk about the meanings and how these suffixes actually change those words. I do want us to pay close attention to the base word also as we're going through our list here. Okay, so we have speaker, artist, historian, prisoner, director, Asian, librarian, survivor, creator, traveler, terrorist, decorator, Australian, believer, vocalist, admirer, guardian, visitor, finalist, defender, specialist, inventor, attacker, and civilian. So let's go ahead and match up our headers with the bold words so we can have a little discussion about these suffixes. So on our first one we have speaker. Our base word is actually speak, which is an action. That is a verb. But when you add ER into it, it changes it to a noun. It changes it to a person who's doing something. So somebody is speaking. They are called the speaker. Again, we have OR added on as a suffix. Our base word is create. Now, create is an action. If you're creating something, it's an action. But a creator, adding on the OR, turns that into a noun. It actually turns it into a person. The person who's doing the creating is the creator. Now we have guardian. Again, guard is doing something you're protecting, but once you add that suffix on, IAN, you turn that into a noun. You turn it into a person, the person who is doing the protecting. And our last one, artist. Your base word is art, which is also a noun. It's a thing. But when you add the IST on, it changes it from a thing to a person, artist, the person who's doing the art. So let's go through here. Our sort's going to be very easy, but I just want to point out a couple of things, and I won't go through our entire list because I think at this point you can pick out the base word and our suffixes are obvious. I do want to point out a couple things. We do have some capital letters this week, and I'm going to expect you, if these words show up on your test, for you to capitalize these words. Now, Asia is our base word, but when you add IAN, Asian, remember I said you're going to hear the shun on here, Asian? Okay, that is a person who is from Asia. Okay, so you're changing the place to a person, but it's still a proper name because we're naming the place Asia, and adding on the suffix changes it to a person, somebody from Asia. Again, same with Australian. Australia is our base word. That is a proper name for a place. It's our country, not our country, but a country. And then adding IAN, Australian, that is a person who comes from Australia. So the suffix is changing the noun from a place to a person, but it's proper because we're actually naming it. So make sure if those words show up on our test that you actually capitalize those because they are proper nouns that need to be capitalized. And the word Asian was the only word out of the IANs where you're going to hear that shun at the end of the word. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. One thing I do want to mention, if you have any questions about the meanings of any of these words, please raise your hand and I will be more than happy to come around and help you with that. It's time to grab some scissors and start cutting, and happy sorting.